every day Radharani goes to Nandagam to cook for Krishna because she has benediction from Durvasa Rishi. That whoever eats her cooking will never get any disease. And Bhakti Yasoda always thinks when Radharani comes that she'd be such a nice match for my Lala. Every day she thinks like this, and she just loves, she holds Radharani close to her breast and just loves her like anything. One day she couldn't control herself and she just grabbed Radharani and hugged her, and then she took turmeric and smeared it all over Radharani's hands. Now those from India, you'll understand. For those who are not from India, this means now she's engaged. When the girl is engaged, then they smear turmeric and oil all over her hands, and that she's marked. So then, Mother Yasoda told Radharani, you know what this means? And Radharani said, no. He says, this means you're married, now you're going to get married to Krishna. He said, marriage? I'm just a little cowherd girl who runs from forest to forest, enjoying my freedom. I don't know if I'm ready for marriage and things like this. And she slipped out of Mother Yasoda's hands and ran back to Barsana. And she was thinking what to do. So before she got to Barsana, there was a kund, and she began to wash all the yellow turmeric out of her hands. And she began to wash and wash and wash, and gradually the whole kund began to turn yellow. And in fact, she was washing her bhav into the kund. And that luscious stuff was flowing to the sides of the kund, bouncing against the steps and returning. And finally, she was just washing and washing, and Lalita Sakhi said, you're going to turn the whole of Braj yellow if you don't stop. The whole kund was turning yellow, and you can turn the whole kund, the whole Braj yellow if you don't stop this. So and you know, once you get turmeric in your hand, you can't get it out. So she ran to the palace, hiding her hands. But everybody had seen her washing her hands, they knew what it meant. They already told Vrishabhanu and Kirti ahead of time. That Radharani is enthralled to Krishna. And everyone was very happy. They grabbed Radharani's hand and they looked. Meanwhile, Krishna was wandering through the forest, herding his cows, but he lost one calf. And he was absorbed in trying to find that calf. And he walked by that kund, and he so absorbed in finding his calf, he didn't notice anything. And then suddenly he stopped and said, what? He backed up and he looked at the kund. The kund was completely yellow, golden color. And this golden, whatever it was that was filling the kund, was so attractive to him. He couldn't understand what it was. So he went down to the kund, and all the animals and birds and bees came to watch what was going to happen. Everyone was staring, and Krishna was looking at this yellow substance. He couldn't understand what this luscious stuff was. So he finally stepped into the water. As soon as he touched that water filled with Radharani's bhav, electric shock went through his whole body. And he said, my goodness, what is this thing? And he kept going one step, one step, one step. He kept going down and down and down into the kund, till finally only his peacock feather was visible above the water to mark where he was going. And this all the animals and birds and bees were watching this peacock feather wandering along the bottom of the kund. And then he came out of the kund, and his whole body had turned golden color, just like Srimati Radharani. And he had Radharani's bhav, and he began to cry, oh Krishna, where are you? He's Krishna himself, and he was calling out for Krishna. That where are you? Where are you? He was completely filled with Radharani's bhav of separation. And he began to call, where are you? All the animals were stunned. They became silent, watching this strange occurrence. And he was wandering through the forest. Oh Krishna, oh Krishna, oh Prananath, where are you? Where are you? Gradually the effects of the potion wore off. And then Krishna, he came to his senses, and he began to look for his calf again. But this is the first hint of the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the bhav and luster of Srimati Radharani. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol.